Hey guys, welcome to this short segment of the Grind Never Stops podcast. Before we start today's show, I want to thank everyone who has supported me once again as we reach 250 subs on YouTube. We have reached 2,000 followers on Instagram and Twitter, and we want to thank for your support. And we also reach $1,000 of our donations, and we want to thank all of the donations we have received since day one. I love you guys, and you guys just keep supporting, keep telling everyone about my podcast, and we're gonna get our podcast to the next level, and that's what we want to do here at Grind Never Stops. We want to increase our goal, and the grind will never stop even if we reach our goal. And this season we will be busy this season as we're gonna do before the season starts for all sports. We're gonna do a MLB playoff preview once the playoff seedings are set. We'll also do NFL preview, NHL preview, and obviously an NBA preview. And you guys all know that my podcast is mostly about basketball, as you guys all know. So, but I'm gonna mix it out a little bit. Have talk about MLB, NBA, NHL, and obviously NFL. And for all you people who's always asking me who are my favorite teams, so, as you know, the MLB, it's obviously the Blue Jays. I've been watching the Toronto Blue Jays since they had the Alex Rios, the Vernon Wells, the Roy Halladay's, the Adam Hill, the Greg Zahn. I've been a Blue Jays fan for a decade, and that's my favorite team. And the NHL, you guys all know, Leafs Nation. My passion is the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I've been a Leafs fan since I was born, but I was also a New Jersey Devils fan because when I played hockey back then, I was a goaltender, and the reason I got into hockey was the Martin Brodeur because I love Martin Brodeur. He's probably gonna go down as probably the best goalie of all time, and I don't think anybody will get close to his level. And yes, people have their opinions that they'll say Patrick Roy, Jack Plant, and all these Ron Hextall and all these boys, but Martin Brodeur's level. And I know people say, "Oh, Devils play trap," but you guys all know that the Devils, their system is the trap. But when teams exploit that is they don't play trap anymore 100% of the game. That's why Broder has shut out big time players, big time teams. He's a champion. He won the title 3 times in the 1995, 2000, 2003. And that's why you might it's going to take you like 10 years or 5 years to actually think of someone that could be close to him, because Vasilevsky is not that great of a goalie. The Tampa Bay Lightning did not have a wonderful season of their own, and they barely won against the New York Islanders. But that's why I became a hockey fan, and because I'm Canadian, and yeah, when you're Canadian, you have to pick a Canadian. Not have to, but mostly. And I love the Leafs since the Sundins, the Gilmores, the Belfours. I've been a Leaf fan since I was born. But the one team and the one player that has gotten me into hockey is Martin Brodeur. So Martin Brodeur is like the GOAT of goaltenders. Obviously, Wayne Gretzky, the Crosbys of the world, the Mario Lemieux, and the Brett Halls might be the GOAT, but as in the goalie GOAT, like the greatest goaltender of all time, is Martin Brodeur, in my opinion. And everyone has their opinion. And for people that want to come on this show who or want to join me as a co-host, you're all welcome to comment or to send me a DM on Twitter and IG, and you can comment, and I'll be glad to bring you on my show. We'll be having some uh, people from Potty Mouth Sports coming on our show in the next couple of weeks, as we will do some NFL season previews and talk about the NFL and how the NFL is going through a COVID-19 mini pandemic right now. But for okay, so hockey is good. So for NBA, everyone always shit on me that I always pick like the winning team. But my favorite team in the NBA and has always been is the Philadelphia 76ers. The Aaron McKee days, the Derek Coleman days, the AI days. I always liked the 76ers ever since I was born. I remember I still have it to this day as a souvenir is the Air Force One, the AI threes. That shoe was the GOAT. The N1 at that time when AI was in the league and balling, that shoe was lit. You know how it's now is the Kyries, the KDs, the Steph Currys, the LeBron James. Back then, it was the Air Force One, the End One, and the Jordans, obviously. But I've been liking the 76ers since I was born. But I'm also a Raptor fan on the side because they're the lone Canadian team. But for player, it's LeBron James, and that's obviously I watched him since he was in high school. I've been always a LeBron fan, and LeBron will end up being the GOAT when he retires because you guys don't know when LeBron James will retire from the league. And until he retires, he will be the best player in the world. And for people who don't think that he's the best player in the world, and again, as I always say, stay off the weed and you need to be drug tested. But anyways, that's my favorite player, LeBron James. My favorite team are the Sixers and Toronto. And I also cheered for Cleveland for a long time, but you know that LeBron left and how they managed the team even before LeBron, after LeBron left, when LeBron came back and once he dipped to LA, the mind of Dan Gilbert is through the roof, and I don't understand how he's still managing this team because that team has made some horrible decisions. And for the last but not least, the NFL. So the NFL, I've been watching it since like the year 2000s. I've been a huge fan of the National Football League. Obviously, you guys should already know that my favorite player is Tony Romo, and obviously Tony Romo did not have the career that he had the potential to have because when he was healthy, he was good, but it just injuries made his career so bad that people have memes even to this day. Everyone makes fun of him. Everyone makes fun of him because he wants to improve his life post retirement, and he's calling games on NFL Sundays, and people are making fun of him, and that's why you should put some respect on Tony Romo's name because when healthy, he was one of the top quarterbacks in the league, but that was just a short period of time because there was a short period of time where he was healthy. And obviously, things didn't work out because they had a great receiver in Brian, one of the best receivers at that time, but they just couldn't work out. And obviously, the Dallas Cowboys have a lot of questions. They have a lot of what to do next because Dak Prescott is still injured. And we both know that when Dak Prescott comes back and gets used to the game, he will be a great quarterback. There's a reason why Dak Prescott is called Dak the Attack because he will attack your garbage defense. And don't forget, the Dallas Cowboys have Zeke the Freak. But last season, it was not Zeke the Freak. It was Ezekiel Elliott. He had one of his worst seasons. Even though he's been in the league not long, he did not have a great season overall. Gave away a lot of fumbles, turned the ball over, wasn't making good runs. It was just garbage for Ezekiel Elliott. But this season, and I don't want to talk more about about what about them Cowboys, because I want to keep it for the season preview. But guys, that's my favorite teams, my all-time favorite player, according to me, not according to the game, because obviously in the NHL it's Wayne Gretzky, but I said Martin Brodeur, best goalie. But best player in the world right now is Alexander Ovechkin. But it's tied because people say, what about Connor McDavid? But Connor McDavid has been choking for a long time. And he needs to get it done with his buddy Leon. Because they don't got the great pieces because they got, maybe these Oilers fans think they got the right pieces because they got a 30-year-old Duncan Keith who has nothing to add to his game. He's the end of his career. And they overpaid my guy, Zach Hyman from the Leafs. And we'll talk about the NHL season preview, and I don't want to talk more. But this segment was only about my favorite teams and my favorite players. I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. Make sure to tune in for the next couple weeks as we'll upload more episodes. And a lot of people has asked why we upload once a week, once every 2 weeks, is because we're preparing for this new season of The Grind Never Stops. We'll be doing a lot of things this season. We'll also be doing commentary this season for nationally televised games on the NHL, NBA, and obviously the NFL. And again, if you guys have great knowledge in sports and you want to help on our blog, because we also have a blog at grindneverstopspodcast.wordpress.com, and we will have a real domain once we improve their donations and all of that. So if you have knowledge in sports and you want to join me as a co-host or as a guest, or you want to help me with my blog, don't hesitate to contact me on my email. My email is in my profile on YouTube, and that you can message me on Twitter and on Instagram. You can comment on my YouTube videos. You can check us out on Spotify, Anchor. And if you're interested in joining us, you're welcome. And if people are asking if it's a paid position, it is not, because like my podcast has not reached that level that we're making. Once we reach that level, then I'll be opening paid positions for co-host, for guests, and for people who would like to write on my blog. Don't hesitate. If you want to join, you can join. But this is your host, DJ Joe. Don't forget to check us out at Grind Never Stops podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, all your podcast platforms. Subscribe on YouTube, like our video. Um, and this is about it for today's segment, as I talked about my favorite teams and respective players. So this is your host, DJ Joe, and this is the segment of A Grind Never Stops podcast. Mamba